What if I told you the number one reason Catholic marriages emotionally fall apart isn't poor communication, mismatched interests, or even conflict? It's something much deeper, often invisible, and it starts long before you ever say, I do.
Welcome to the Catholic Couch, the official audio podcast of the Catholic Counseling Institute. I'm Amber Pilkington, Catholic therapist, wife, and mother. Around here, we talk about real issues with real faith, blending the wisdom of the Catholic Church with the best of psychology, so you can find clarity, peace, and purpose in your relationships, your vocation, and everyday life. Whether you're folding laundry or driving the carpool, pull up a seat and let's go.
Welcome to the Catholic Couch, the official podcast and YouTube series of the Catholic Counseling Institute, where we integrate the wisdom of the Catholic faith with modern psychology and give you real tools for real life. I'm Amber Pilkington, Catholic therapist, wife, mom, and woman who has seen firsthand how unhealed emotional patterns, especially around attachment, can quietly erode the joy and connection in even the most faithful marriages. Today, we're unpacking something that every Catholic couple deserves to understand: your attachment style and how it silently shapes the way you love, fight, feel close, or shut down in marriage. Let's dive in. So, what is attachment and why does it matter? In psychology, attachment refers to the emotional bond we form with our earliest caregivers. It's the system God designed in us to seek closeness, safety, and comfort. And the way that bond formed, securely or not, becomes the blueprint for how we relate to others as adults, especially in marriage. If you were held, comforted, and responded to consistently as a child, you likely developed what psychologists call a secure attachment style. You can handle closeness and distance without panic. You trust love, and you expect that when you reach out, someone will respond. But if your caregivers were inconsistent, dismissive, overbearing, or unsafe, your brain and body may have adapted. You may have learned to cling tightly to connection or to shut down when things feel emotionally risky. And here's the important thing: those early adaptations weren't character flaws. They were survival strategies. But now, as adults and as spouses, we have to recognize when those strategies are no longer helping us love well. Most Catholic couples come to counseling thinking they have a communication problem. And yes, words matter. But beneath the surface, there's often something deeper driving the cycle: fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of being too much or not enough, fear that if you're truly known, you won't be loved. That's not just poor communication. That's attachment pain trying to protect you. So let's walk through the 4 common attachment styles. Secure attachment looks like comfort with closeness and space. These spouses can express needs, listen without panic, and return to connection after a conflict. Anxious attachment looks like craving closeness, but fearing it will disappear. These spouses might need constant reassurance, worry they're being ignored, or spiral when there's silence. Avoidant attachment looks like withdrawing from conflict, downplaying feelings, or feeling overwhelmed when a partner expresses emotion. These spouses value independence and might misinterpret need as weakness. And disorganized attachment, often rooted in trauma, looks like a push-pull dynamic. A spouse might desperately want connection, but fear it at the same time, leading to confusion and unpredictability in the relationship. You may already be identifying yourself or your spouse. You're not broken. You're just wired a certain way. And maybe that wiring needs healing. And that's where grace enters. See, the church has always taught that marriage is more than a contract. It's a covenant, a school of love, a place where 2 people help each other grow in holiness. And that includes healing the parts of us that learn to protect rather than connect. Sometimes your attachment style shows up when your spouse doesn't respond the way you hoped. You feel shut down, so you chase. You feel overwhelmed, so you retreat. You feel invisible, so you lash out or withdraw altogether. And underneath that behavior is something sacred: the longing to be seen, known, and loved. That longing isn't weakness. It's the echo of the garden. It's the cry of the heart for communion. And our church doesn't shy away from that. Scripture tells us again and again that love is not afraid of the mess. that God's plan for marriage involves transformation, not perfection. But here's the hard truth. If we don't name these patterns, we repeat them. If we don't heal them, we pass them on. And if we're not careful, our defenses can look like detachment, coldness, or even silent despair while we're still saying the rosary together and going to Mass. Marriage deserves more than spiritual effort. It needs emotional honesty too. So what can you do? Start by gently noticing your default patterns. When there's disconnection, what do? Do you press in harder, pull away, freeze? Then ask yourself, where did I learn that? Whose voice is in the background of that reaction? And then bring that into prayer. Invite the Lord into your emotional reflexes, not just your behavior. Ask him, Jesus, where am I protecting myself instead of receiving love? Where am I reacting to my spouse like they're someone from my past? Where do I need you to help me trust again? Because Jesus doesn't just want to heal your soul. He wants to transform your capacity to love and be loved, to make your marriage not just endurable, but joyful. So no, the number one reason Catholic marriages fall apart isn't mismatched interests or poor communication. It's unhealed attachment patterns, quietly driving distance, disconnection, and despair. But that doesn't have to be your story. You can change the pattern. You can learn to love with courage. You can become a safe place for each other. And your marriage can become the mirror of God's faithful love it was meant to be. If this touched something in you, I hope you'll share it with someone who needs to hear it. And be sure to subscribe because in our next video, we're exploring how attachment styles show up in conflict and why you're not fighting too much. You're just fighting the wrong way. Until then, remember, I'll always leave a place for you on the Catholic couch.